Something just ran across the path. Right there. I think it was a fisher. That's a moose antler shed that I found from a young moose. And you can see this tree here let go. Don't know if you can see that, but it finally did let go, and that's no longer a hazard to us now in the bush, so that's good. I'm gonna go for a little walk here. Welcome to our channel. For those that are new here, we're on 40 acres of wilderness in Ontario, Canada. And it's actually a beautiful day. No wind, just a little bit of snow, and pretty nice for beginning of March. And the sap will be running any day now. We're anticipating that. So just we are getting our buckets and spiles and all the equipment ready for maple sap time. Now, right now I'm at the Froggy Pond. I'll let you have a look there. There's our Froggy Pond. The Froggy Pond is looking good. Just a beautiful day. Now, I saw some moose tracks that were fresh. I'm not sure if they came through this part of the land or not. They were down on our southeast corner of our property. I was just checking that. I make the rounds around the property. I try to, especially around the front part of the property where there's the main access. That way we know what's going on as far as any activity in the snow from the four-legged animals or the two-legged kind. So I'm up in the area where we're going to be tapping a lot of trees. There are a lot of nice maples around, as you can see. A lot of these trees here gave us a good yield last year. Probably do a few over on this side as well this year. We intend on doing double the amount of tapping, so hopefully we'll get approximately double the amount of sap for boiling. We're pretty isolated here on our 40 acres, Ontario, Canada, and with this outbreak that has happened, it's of global concern, and a lot of people tend to take it lightly and consider it to be not much more than, if you were to catch a common cold. However, it doesn't appear to be the case. It is pretty severe, especially for infants and elderly and those with compromised immune systems, and as is normal for flus and viruses and that kind of a thing. But this one is new. We don't know. We don't know what the ramifications are at this point. And there's a few schools of thought, a few things that, different ways of reacting and our choices of reacting. Now, we are in an isolated area here in Ontario, and even still, I mean, there are times when we interact with people and we have to go to the stores for shopping and all that kind of a thing. So, and we're not at the point where, we're going to, start to hoard and buy all kinds of toilet paper. If the outbreak happens to the extent that some are anticipating, having toilet paper will be the least of your worries. There's been such a run on, I've seen it on some YouTube news stories and whatnot, the run on toilet paper globally is unreal. So, but there's all kinds of things that perhaps you should be more concerned about. And wash your hands, get soap and soap and water, wash your hands. And basically keep things clean. And try not to interact in crowds and that kind of a thing. Don't expose yourself unnecessarily. I have a doctor's visit that I'm anticipating making, but I'm leaving that up in the air at this point because I don't think going to a hospital and around a hospital at this point for me is something I choose not to do. And I mean, you got to make up your own mind and make your own educated guesses, but make it educated guesses. Don't believe everything that you hear on a YouTube video. That it's because of this or it's because of that, or this is what's going to happen, or this is what you need to do now because this is how it's going to be. Nobody knows really how it's going to be. The one thing for sure that has taken the world by storm, that's even bigger than the virus, that's even more, in some ways, even more treacherous than the virus, and that is the fear of the virus and the fear of what may happen if things start to shut down, if our supply lines begin to shut down because workers aren't able to go to work and manufacturing starts to slow down and delivery chains begin to slow. This is something that you shouldn't really worry about, but keep track of, what's happening in the news. Check the stores. Where we are isolated here, it's really hard for us to keep on top of what the reality of this situation is, because all we have is we have the internet. We don't watch television. We only watch a few of the mainstream news outlets. But there's a lot of fear mongering going on. Every single time I turn the radio on, hear what the weather is, there's news reports or there's conversations and topics about this outbreak, and it is the number one item, I think, in the media right now on a global basis. Take care, be safe, take precautions, don't panic. Panic just makes you do a lot of bad decisions, right? So there is no need to panic at this point. There's obviously, there is reason to be concerned, and Canada has now told It's people that they will be looked after, and there are measures that are being taken in the millions and millions of dollars in preparing and safeguarding measures against our supply lines and against those that go missing work and go into self-quarantine. And there's all kinds of things that are happening at this current rate. We have it does seem to be spreading. All I can say is, guys, where you are, I know a lot of you are in like apartment buildings and in the city and that kind of a thing. Totally different situation than what we have out here, where we're isolated from people and isolated from the virus itself. So it's really hard for us to fathom what you must be going through. But we would like to know, how is it changing your life? How is it affecting your life? What are some of the things on a daily basis that has changed your thinking, or things that you do that are different now than what they were before? Or has it not changed anything for you at all? Is everything the same as it ever was? We'd like to hear from you in the comments below. For us, we make sure that we have enough flour and staples, beans, that kind of thing to last us for quite a while if need be. We haven't hoarded anything. These are supplies that we have purchased as time has gone on, just so that we have a good supply for in case the roads are bad and we can't get into town for shopping, or something like that, and or bad storms, so that's par for the course for us anyway, that we need to have about a 2 to 3 week supply ahead of time, but stored. So, but other than that, it hasn't really affected us at all. I do go into town sometimes to shop or whatever, with Maureen, but for the most part, this is where I am. This is my comfort zone, and this is where I enjoy being, out here in the wilderness. And it's not because I'm a hermit. I just happen to really like the wilderness a lot more than I like the city. And when I get to the city, and then I start to go on my way back, it always feels so good when I get north of Barrie, and that's when I know that, yeah, okay, it's starting to feel like home again, right? So anyway, guys, just thought that I'd share a little update here with you about what's going on here. And for Maureen, I'm Glenn. We'll see you next time. Over and out. Take care.